Okay, welcome back everyone to the Athlete's Mind podcast. We are almost at episode 40 now. We've really been getting these footy ones out lately, which you guys have been really enjoying. Today, we have another online interview. We haven't done the online ones for a while, but today we are joined by Jake Rogers, who is over in Gold Coast at the moment. Is that correct?
Yeah, Gold Coast.
Very talented footballer, being focused by the footy community lately with a very promising future ahead. Jake, thanks for taking the time to join us today. How are you?
Yeah, good, really good. Yeah,
That's good, mate. So the first thing we always ask our athletes when they come on is just a bit of background. We always start with the same question is, how did you actually get into your sport, which is obviously footy? Was it from a young age? And sort of explain to us the journey that you have made from when you were younger to now.
yeah. So I'm originally from down in Victoria. So I sort of was born into the football world down there, and then moved up when I was about 5 or 6 to the Gold Coast. Relocated to pretty much the weather, and then sort of started my football journey from up here. Didn't really play football down there for like a local club or whatever. Started my football up here. Went through the junior ranks. Really enjoyed football from a young age. Was always pretty talented with my speed and that sort of stuff. But yeah, been loving football up here, and yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, nice. You mentioned your speed. We will talk about your game strengths a bit later, but did you have any like junior memorable moments playing club and like local footy? Any flags you might have won?
Yeah, unfortunately, I played in I think 5 grand finals and lost all of them. So
Jeez, oh, that's tough,
yeah,
man.
I haven't got a great track record at the minute.
Yeah, geez, mate. Because I know a lot of people go through their whole footy journey, like, throughout their junior years, they don't end up winning a grand final, and it is a big deal to win one. But yeah, five, that's
Yeah,
tough. So hopefully
yeah,
you win one, man. Um, I actually have to ask you, I hear that you're a Pies supporter. Is that correct?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just a bit off topic, but do you think they might have a chance of winning the flag this year?
Oh, certainly. I mean, when they get most of their players back, we haven't even had a ruckman for the last couple of weeks, and with Jeremy Howe and all that coming back, I think, yeah, very strong chance. Yeah,
Yeah, they're very exciting to watch at the moment. Me myself, I'm an Eagles
unreal.
supporter, but
All right.
yeah, but I enjoy watching them. Like honestly, that they are
Yeah.
exciting. So yeah. And talking more, in your junior days as well, were there any other sports that you played, or was it always footy as the main focus for you?
Yeah. So when I moved up here, sort of gone from the football world, sort of a bit different up here. It sort of turns to rugby a bit more.
Yeah.
So I played a bit of rugby at school and then played at a reasonable level. But yeah, it was still mainly football, but I did have sort of a bit of rugby league in that as well.
Nice. Would you say rugby helped you a little bit with the physical side of footy? Did you learn anything?
Yes, certainly. I think my tackling has a big part from rugby league, as well as I've done a bit of wrestling in my
Yeah.
time as well, so that also probably helped. But yeah, mainly rugby through my junior years was probably a big help.
Yeah, nice. Now talking on your current career, most recently, you won the Academy medal in the AFL Academy game against the Carlton VFL side. Sort of talk to us how was that overall experience and how was the feeling winning that medal, which is such a big achievement for you?
Yeah, it was just an unreal experience. The whole lead up to it. We got in Thursday morning and then played Saturday afternoon, so we still had a few days before we played. The vibe and the group was really good, and we were all gelling because it was our second camp, obviously, our second game, sorry. And yeah, the vibe was up, so I just knew it was going to be a good day. And come Saturday, yeah, had a pretty good game. Was
Yeah,
happy with it. So um,
certainly.
yeah, no, it's just a really good experience. Then to play on Marvel as well to top it off, I thought that was unreal. It was great surface, great deck. The atmosphere was good, so yeah, loved it.
Yeah, nice. How was like the overall experience been playing with the other boys as well? Like, traveling with them and, obviously spending a lot of time with them. And you mentioned you guys have gelled quite well. Has that been like pretty cool to spend time with the other boys and play footy with them?
Yeah, yeah, certainly. I think from our first camp back in December, everyone was a bit more segregated in their little groups or their little states. But we sort of gelled really well to these last couple camps, and I think it's really shown on the field, and then also to be hanging out with some of the top other prospects and getting to know what they do on their off days or what they do at training and all their little things that makes them tick, sort of thing, is like I think is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And what about the whole coaching staff with the academy team? Have they been like very supportive of you, and how has that like been to have them to learn off and talk to?
Yeah, unreal. I think Tark's our head coach. He has been unreal for all of us. He's a really supportive coach and sort of tells you to just play your strengths. If everyone's going to make mistakes, he is a big believer of no one's perfect and you're only as good as your last moment. So he always just reinstalls that faith in us and backs us in any way. So yeah, he's been unreal for us. And then for me, it was my midfield coach, Pebbles, as we call him, Anthony Rocker. So yeah, he's been really good for me as well, and great support during the last few camps to let me play my game. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Because the coach, it's very important. You need to have someone there that
Yeah.
understands your game and is supportive of you.
Yeah.
Um, Now the last 2 years have been really big for you. Last year you earned a selection in the under-17s Future Showcase, which was on the AFL Grand Final day, I'm pretty sure. I
Yeah.
can imagine that it would have been an awesome experience for you and the boys playing on the MCG on the Grand Final day. Were you nervous going into that, like playing in that event?
I don't think I was as much nervous. I think I was just a bit more excited. I've never played on the MCG. It's a massive ground. I think I was just more excited for the experience and what was to come.
Yeah.
Um, and then to watch the game afterwards was also pretty cool. But yeah, not many people get to play on the G, so yeah, it was a pretty surreal experience.
Yeah. Now, this year's preseason, you actually got the opportunity to train with the Gold Coast Suns for a couple months. I want to sort of ask you, like, what did you learn from training at an AFL level?
Yeah, yeah. So I was fortunate enough to do pretty much the full preseason with the Suns, about 3 months with them. Yeah, I took so many great learnings out of it. Really connected with the boys. I sort of felt they sort of welcomed me in. I felt at home straight away. But yeah, it was a big wake up call for me to see how hard they work and all the little things they do to get better. And the amount of volume of training they do as well in the preseason. So it was a great learning curve for me, as well as I took heaps out of it to take into future.
Yeah, I read somewhere that you had massive influence of Noah Anderson and Sam Flanders. Like, explain how they were supportive of you and your footy journey.
Yeah, so as soon as I got there, I sort of got pushed into the midfield section. So um, Noah Anderson straight away took me under his wing and sort of made me feel at home. And then anything I needed, he was sort of there for me. um, and obviously, he was a great role model for me and someone I respect hugely. So yeah, it was really great for him to sort of take me under his wing and show me the ropes a little bit. And then towards the end of it, end of the 3 months, the second sort of section of the preseason, I sort of moved to the half forward line. So Sammy Flanders sort of took me there, and yeah, he was just great help. He's a really great person and a great leader. So yeah, he just really instilled faith into me to just push hard and work as hard as I can and get better every day. So yeah, they were both really great to learn off.
That's awesome. Now this next question, I do have to ask you, have you had like any other AFL teams show interest in you? Like, you don't have to mention who, I completely understand. But obviously, with this being a massive year for you, have you had any other teams sort of show that initial interest?
Yeah, so we had like those speed dating sort of interviews at
Mm,
all our allies camps, AFL camps. So I've spoken to most clubs there,
mm.
as well as obviously now that I'm with the academy, it's probably an easier one to go talk to the Suns there with Cal Burns. So mainly the Suns at the minute. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice. And obviously, like with all this stuff that you're trying to manage, like, with talking to AFL clubs, being in the academy, do you have a manager to help you throughout this stuff?
yeah, yeah. So I'm with Capital Sports
Yeah.
Management Group. There with Mark Kleeman. So yeah, he's been huge for me so far. I only signed with him about a month ago. I was sort of like one of the last to sign with a manager, but no, he's been huge for me already. Yeah, helps me through any of that sort of stuff and anything of the well-being or that sort of side of things that I need. So yeah, he's been great.
Nice. Now, you did mention this before is your speed and your overall strengths in the game. What would you say are the key things you bring to a team, whether that's your even outside of skill, your voice, your actions, or your leadership skills, out and off the field?
Yep. So I've been working on this year a lot of my leadership.
Mm.
So I'm the captain of the Suns Academy, or co-captain. So yeah, I've been working on my leadership a lot. I think that comes off the back end of doing the AFL preseason and taking great learnings from that I can bring back to the 18s Academy. And then yeah, some of my on-field strengths would be like my speed and my decision making. I think I value my ball skills and my cleanliness below knees. So yeah, I think those, and then yeah, just my foot skills and hand skills are probably I value the most out of my strengths.
Nice. There's some good skills in there. I hear you model yourself after the key players such as Cozzy Pickett, Shy Bolton. What parts of their game do you sort of try to adapt into yours?
Yeah, I think just how damaging they are with ball in hand, as well as their speed and their ability to get out of stoppages. I probably try take that into my game a little bit, and then just their evasiveness and their ability to be hard to play on really just makes them a really tough opponent to line up on, and yeah, just a great player. So yeah, try to take little bits and pieces from them.
Nice, great players to watch as well. Now something that I do want to ask you about, we ask like all of our athletes that come on this, especially footy players, is the gym program. Obviously in the off season, footy players focus quite a lot on putting on that size. But I sort of want to ask you, like, what are you doing at the moment in the gym program? Does it change quite a lot from when you're in the off season to during season?
Yeah, 100% it does. I think pre-season we're in there probably 4 times a week.
Mm.
I'll be lifting a bit heavier, doing a few different exercises compared to what we do in season. In season's a bit more. So Tuesday we do just an upper body session, and then Wednesday is our main lifts. So like things like hip thrusts, back squats. So our main like big lifts, compound lifts. And then Friday we do just a little bit of extra power work before we play Sunday or Saturday. So it's in season's definitely a huge switch from trying to put on size or put on strength. Yeah, it's a big difference, but I think it's very much needed
Yeah.
when you're in season.
100%. And what about recovery? Do you and most of the boys like in the footy system take recovery quite serious?
Yeah, I'm huge for recovery, and I sort of learned that extra professionalism in the AFL system when I was doing the preseason there. Um, so yeah, I do a lot of stretching, do a lot of breathing work, do some Pilates,
Hmm.
do a lot of ice baths, recovery, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I take my recovery pretty serious. Yeah.
It's very important. So that's good that you're doing that. We're just going to quickly take a switch now. We got a bit of quick fire questions for you just before
Yeah.
we get into the mental questions. So obviously we do want to get to know you a little bit. So we've got
Yeah.
five for you. Yeah, we'll get straight into it. So number one is what is the nickname you get out on the field?
Um, Sort of the Suns when I was training with them, they sort of started calling me Snake.
Oh,
Jake the Snake. So yeah, get called Snake a fair bit. Yeah.
yeah. And number two, dream job outside of footy.
Probably an entrepreneur, like owning my own business, clothing brand, something like that. Yeah, that'd be
Ah,
sick.
that's a good one. Number three, what is your favorite movie of all time?
It'd have to be one of the Rockies or maybe Creed.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
love
maybe
Creed.
Fast and the Furious. Yeah, one
Yeah,
of those. Yeah,
that's a good one. Number four, Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Okay, all right. A lot of people say PlayStation, but that's all right.
Yeah, well, I've got an Xbox, so
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Number five, what is your dream car?
hard to go past. I would say Bugatti, but I love a G-Wagon, Mercedes
Oh,
G-Wagon. Yeah.
all right, that's good. Yeah, those are quick fire questions. That's sort of something new that we've introduced here on the podcast. So
Yeah.
yeah, hope you like that, mate. Some good answers. Um, we'll get into the mental questions now. Obviously, something that
Yeah.
we ask all of our athletes. We talk about it heavily on here, being the athlete's mind. We'll straight off the back, we'll start off with, with all the training you do you ever feel mentally burnt out? Not so much physically, but do you ever feel that mentally tired with how much training you do, and how do you sort of manage that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think I sometimes do, especially in pre-season. You're training so much more than in season, and obviously not playing games. So you're just training and training and training. Um, so yeah, I think just having a great release. I think I've got a great friendship group that's outside of football and in football. So I've got a good balance between having friends that I can talk about football and friends that I can just switch off about football and not talk about football. And as well as I think having something outside of football that you can take your mind off. So for me, all the Suns boys pretty much play golf. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think golf was one for me that you sort of go play 18 holes and you're not thinking about football at all. You're just thinking about your next shot sort of thing in golf. So yeah, I think that was probably one for me that I've recently picked up on that's sort of taken my mind off footy and gave me that release.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's definitely important to sort of take your mind off footy when you need to. It's
Yeah.
important. And what about like mentally preparing for games? Like, do you have a game day routine that you like to go through in the morning when you wake up, or do you just sort of go with the flow?
I think this year's been a bit different because we've been playing all different types of times, days, traveling, sometimes doing fly in, fly out. Sometimes we're there 3 days before. So I think my preparation has been very different for different games. But I try to keep it pretty simple, try to keep the same routine. I stretch before every night. I go for a walk before game day, grab a coffee. I try to keep it pretty simple. But yeah, I do have a game day routine that I try to stick by, and I think it's working for me so far. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Now, this next question is a bit broad. We get many different answers on here, but what would you say is like your key motivation when playing footy, when days are hard or even throughout the good days? What do you always think to that keeps you pushing through that adversity?
Yeah. Probably a big one for me is probably my family, my parents. I think I think they probably help me push through the hard times a little bit at training or if it's games. I think if I think back to them and the hard work they've put in for me, sort of just giving back to them sort of thing on the footy field. So yeah, I think that's a big one. That's probably my main one to be honest. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, nice. We're almost at the end here, but just the last thing that I want to ask you is like, it's a massive year for you this year. You've been performing really well. What would you say is like your main goal for this year in footy? Do you have like a main goal that you have your eye on, or are you sort of just focusing on the little goals for now?
Yeah, I've sort of tried to trim it down a little bit, not think too far ahead. Keep my goals pretty short term. Obviously, I have some long term goals, but for now, I'm just sort of trying to focus on my short term goals and tick them off. And I think that'll hold me in great stead leading into my bigger goals like the draft and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I've sort of tried to keep my mind sort of short term and focus on the short term goals. Yeah, so I think yeah, short
Nice.
term.
I think that's the best way to go about things, focus on the little goals and then hopefully the rest will take care of itself. Because I always say this, sometimes when you focus on the bigger goals, you lose sight of the smaller goals that you need to focus on in the moment. So that's good that you have
So
that mentality. That's about it, mate. So yeah, thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And we wish you the best for your career. Big things to come, I'm sure. So thank you for coming on, mate.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Just everyone listening and watching, this will be on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Go and follow the TikTok, the Instagram, and just really quick to everyone who do watch to the end. I did mention this in the last episode, but we do have something quite big in the works. Can't say too much about it, but all I will say, make sure you follow the Instagram so you don't miss it. You really do not want to miss this. We've been working on it for a few months, so yeah, thank you everyone for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of The Athlete's Mind. Thank you.
It's pretty inspiring seeing one of my mates really going out for his goal and trying to get into success and something he really feels passionate about.
It's what keeps me going, because it's an escape from reality sort of thing.
Just staying who I am, you know, don't need to be anyone else.
Would you say you want to sort of like make him proud?
Yeah, 100%. That's always been my goal since I was younger.
We've got none other than Anthony Belluard, mate. The Athlete's Mind podcast. It's gone through the roof.
You boys are from the Athlete's Mind, right?
Yeah, we are.
I don't recognise you.
We just thought it was a cool idea, to be honest, and look how far we've come.
Every week is a memorable week.
If I could help any way possible, help other people, not go through the pain what I went through with losing someone to cancer.
Stay patient, stay consistent, do what you're doing. Hopefully the rest will take care of itself.
I just want to make people aware of mental health in sport.
That this goes somewhere big, yeah, I hope it really does.